As we look at the astrology, we begin with Leo rising. Leo rising is about allowing the heart to guide us. Leo rules the heart, and it is the center of our physical body. It's responsible for circulating life, blood, oxygen to the rest of the body, just like the sun is at the center of the universe. When we look at life through the lens of Leo, we are able to look through the eyes of a child, the innocence and purity, and able to trust what comes up in our lives. This is the Leo energy, staying in the moment, able to respond spontaneously, able to tap into our creative essence. But Leo is ruled by the sun, and we have to look at where the sun is. In this case, in Sedna's chart, the sun is in the fourth house, conjunct the south node in the sign of Scorpio. This is a very potent position, and it tells us a lot about our rite of passage and what we need to heal. It really speaks to the initiation process of Sedna and Sedna's energy as we make our way from the south node past and the negative experiences, because we're always looking at the south node as energy that we have been steeped in for a very long time. The fourth house has a lot to do with the past, and the south node itself has to do with the past energy that we've been conditioned in for so long, that the north node is a breath of fresh air, but it also represents uncharted, unfamiliar territory. And Sedna is conjunct that north node, providing us with a lifeline and the way to reach that north node in Taurus, the peace and prosperity we seek for our collective soul's fulfillment and to live in harmony with the earth. But first, we have to understand where we've come from, and we need to be able to really look at that full on, head on, and heal it. So when we're talking about the fourth house, again, we're talking about our ancestral roots, our ancient history, and fourth house is also our relationship to the mother, the ancient mother. With the south node and sun conjunct in Scorpio, this is a relationship that has been vilified. There has been a witch hunt against the relationship to our feminine essence. And I'm not talking about the war between the genders here, because men have been injured every bit as much as have women, because we're talking about the feminine essence. It's been a war against our emotions, the fourth house, and what makes us feel safe and secure with regard to our emotions and our expression and connection. But with South Node in Scorpio, conjunct the Sun, this has been an ancient and very long history of wars, competition, conquering, the weaponization of our emotional nature. Emotions have been manipulated. That's the lowest vibe of Scorpio. This is the experience we've had throughout the age of Pisces, but Scorpio gets to the heart of what's really going on. And we've been gaslit to be at war with each other. Every conceivable type of war we have experienced. The war against gender, religion against religion, nation against nation, left against right. The list goes on and on and on. So virtually through our emotions, we've been manipulated into us against them, when our emotional security is really about how connected we are to each other. Those who have placed themselves in positions of power have pulled the puppet strings, the age of Pisces, manipulating the masses. And now we are coming out of that. But this is what our experience has been. And it may offend certain people, but I have to say that there have only been 4 precious years in my lifetime when the United States was not at war in some part of the world. We experienced peace until a certain event happened. But from 2016 to 2020, the United States of America, at least, was not called into war in any part of the world. This is what we need to heal if we are to reach that North Node in Taurus. Peace, prosperity on this planet. And Sedna's way of helping us get there is very different from Pluto's way. Pluto's way is the alchemical fire, which is a very distinct death and rebirth process. But Sedna's way is the way of water. Powerful instincts that come from the mystical, spiritual, invisible connection have been vilified. We've been trained and conditioned to not trust our instincts. We've been entrained in a world of war upon war, us against them, conquering, competing, and having power over. So this is what's coming to an end, I'm happy to say. I'm looking forward to us graduating from Pluto's Phoenix rising out of the ashes and the extreme death and rebirth process to transcending those extremes. And the way of water is how we do that. Sedna's way is staying fluid with life, fluid with our emotions. Yes, allowing the emotions to come up so that they can heal. Even the deepest, darkest kind of emotion, the low vibe emotions, allowing them to arise so that we can see them for what they are, understand the root cause, and allowing water to heal us, to cleanse us. That is how we are going to purify the ocean of consciousness. As each individual does the shadow work and heal their own emotions, then the collective is also healed. So Sedna's energy actually helps us to align with our highest timeline, the highest outcome, by not getting caught up in either the past or the future, but staying very much in the moment and staying fluid in our response. So the next parallel between Pluto and Sedna is this Chiron opposing the moon. And it's just another symbol of how our emotions are in need of healing. Chiron is the wounded healer. It shows us where healing needs to take place. And with that opposition to the moon, we're talking again about mother figure, divine essence, divine feminine essence, and our past, our ancestral history, and our own emotional nature and emotional instincts. So Chiron opposing the moon is just illustrating where the healing must take place. So this is another signature of the need to heal our relationship with the Divine Mother and our feminine essence. In Sedna's chart, Chiron is in the 6th house, the body temple, the body-mind-spirit connection, human souls in a physical body, divinely empowered with all the equipment we need to heal. We do not need artificial substances to improve upon the nature from which we were created. Divine Mother, Father, God, in balance, yang and yin, within balance. When we live in balance, our body and our immune system is able to defend itself, just like the earth has the ability to bring itself back into balance. We can see this in nature. Our physical body is endowed with the same ability to heal itself when it is given the proper support. But when it is attacked again and again and told, you're sick, you're not going to get well without our help, etc., etc., it is time for us to come back to our roots. Chinese medicine can actually help us remember who we truly are. Every single organ system works in tandem with another. There are yin and yang organs that work as a pair, and then all of the organ systems work in relationship to each other. Every organ has a job to do, and when the body is working in harmony, we are experiencing good health and harmony in our lives. So Chiron in Capricorn is about mastery and Chiron is about healing. So we are called to master this part of our body temple represented by the 6th house. Chiron opposing the moon in the 12th house feels to me like the moon, our emotional nature, has been quarantined in the 12th house. The 12th house is about being institutionalized, marginalized, feeling separate from the physical world, unable to express itself in the physical world. The opposition between the moon and Chiron is, instead of being polarized and separated from each other, it's about exchanging energy so that there is balance. It's like the seesaw. When one part of the seesaw is grounded, it's stagnant, it cannot move, and the other side is up in the air. So we need to keep both sides moving and exchanging energy in order for us to establish and maintain balance. That's how we come into our mastery. Saturn conjunct the moon is also opposing Chiron in Capricorn, and Saturn rules the sign of Capricorn. So Saturn is also informing us how we can achieve this mastery. And Saturn is in the sign of Cancer, reminding us that we cannot ignore our connection to emotions. We cannot ignore our feminine essence. That is exactly and precisely how we gain or regain and establish our mastery. The next point or parallel between these two planets is Jupiter making a strong aspect to Mars. In Pluto's case, it made a close trine. In Sedna's case, it's making an opposition. Jupiter opposing Mars in the 8th house. And this also speaks to the ancient ruler of Pisces, Jupiter in this case, being in the 2nd house. That was another aspect that I talked about in part 2 with Pluto. In Pluto's case, it was the modern ruler of Pisces, Neptune, in the sign of Virgo, the sign of health, sitting in the 2nd house of values, resources, because the 2nd house is the natural domain of Taurus. So in this case, we're looking at the ancient ruler, Jupiter, in the 2nd house, occupying the sign of Virgo, the body temple. Our wealth is our health. The other thing that Jupiter and Virgo have in common is the harvest. Jupiter is all about abundance, and Virgo, along with being health and daily affairs, is the sign of the harvest, reaping what we sow. It is opposing Mars in Pisces in the 8th house. Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, and it's sitting in the domain of Scorpio, that 8th house. Mars in Pisces, the ancient low vibe of Scorpio being expressed through the Piscean nature, deception, the mirage, giving our power away to institutions. Pisces can be religion, or it can be pharmaceuticals, because Pisces rules drugs, escapism. This is what we are assigned now to heal. And Jupiter in Virgo is going to help us right that imbalance. So that's Mars. Then we look to Pluto, the 2nd ruler, co-ruler of Scorpio. And the reason we're looking at these planets is because they are the co-rulers of Scorpio, and it is the Scorpio past that is incumbent upon each one of us to heal. This is the mechanism by which we discover the shadow, address it, and heal it. So Pluto, as the 2nd ruler, is that death and rebirth process, but we find Pluto, the co-ruler of the South Node in Scorpio, conjunct Venus, the ruler of the North Node in Taurus. And this Pluto-Venus conjunction in the 5th house, again, this speaks to the Leo energy because the 5th house is the natural domain of Leo, but Pluto and Venus combined, in my view, this is turning around a love of power to the power of love. And Leo is all about love. The heart is about love and how we express love. And we have to love ourselves first. We have to take care of ourselves, provide oxygen literally to ourselves before we can help the person next to us on that plane that's going down. Many people look at our planet as going down, but it's not going down in flames because we have the power to put out those flames created by Pluto and all these massive weapons of destruction and the egoic wars and us against them and power against others. This is what we're healing, and we're putting out this fire with the waters of Sedna by properly expressing our instinctual connection to the Divine Mother and remembering the golden rule that what we do to others, we are doing to ourselves. So it's time to put the proper perspective on the power of emotions and how it distinguishes us from AI, drones, and clones, to remember and give honor to our human nature, which is the essence of love. Leo, fifth house, looking at life through the eyes of a child. That's the fifth house nature. That's the Venus and Pluto conjunction. And in the sign of Sagittarius, it's taking a risk, embracing the adventure of a brand new horizon for our human family and being able to let go of the past, which is another South Node in Scorpio lesson. We have to let go of the past. And it's also the South Node in the fourth house, dealing with the past, surrendering it, letting go of it so that we can reach our future destiny, the 10th house, North Node placement. Which brings me to the third ruler of Scorpio, Sedna, representing the eagle. So we've addressed the Scorpion, Mars in the 8th house, making that opposition to Jupiter. We've addressed Pluto, the second ruler of Scorpio, representing the phoenix rising out of the ashes, but also conjunct Venus, the ruler of the North Node. So when we look to the North Node, it is conjunct Sedna. And this is our third and transcendent symbol of Scorpio, the eagle, allowing us to rise above the extreme death and rebirths of the phoenix and of Pluto's alchemical fire, putting out that fire with a way of water, becoming soft, allowing life to reveal to us on a moment-to-moment basis what it is we need to address so that we can become the master of our own emotional nature and embracing our powerful divine instincts that come from our connection to the mother, to the planet, to the divine feminine essence. So I hope that you have found this video and part 3 about Sedna helpful. And please also come back for part 4 when I will go through each one of those signs for your sun, moon, and rising. So thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you soon for part 4. Bye for now. Sun, Sedna, and Jupiter. When I integrate my shadow nature more fully, I realize that there is much more to celebrate than fear. Chiron, Moon, and Sedna. As I heal my own emotional instincts and intuition, I am serving the greater collective, helping to heal the ocean of consciousness as well as my entire ancestral lineage. Chiron, Saturn, and Sedna. As my perception of time shifts from one of rigidity to fluidity, I trust that everything unfolds in the exact right moment and enjoy a deep sense of peace. Chiron, Jupiter, and Sedna. As I relax all fear related to the material world of having, I am able to thrive in the simplicity and magic of being. Moon, Sun, and Mars. My inner emotional nature always informs and magnetizes what unfolds in my external reality. Mars, Jupiter, and Venus. The conflicts that arise from within my own personality's contradictions and extremes are merely messengers that reveal what seeks to be brought into harmony. Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto. As soon as I surrender my need to control external circumstances, life becomes much easier and my trust becomes more powerful. Jupiter, Moon, and Saturn. As I expand my perception of reality to include the invisible world of intuition, emotions, and instincts, my world responds by manifesting more visible magic.